Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB games scheduled for Friday, August 29th, 2025. Now, if you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put those baseball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games I love the most, including my daily rundown best bet in Major League Baseball, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alright, here we go. Here are the games for Friday, Major League Baseball. First up, we've got the St. Louis Cardinals and the Cincinnati Reds. We've got Matthew Liberatore and Zach Littell as the starters. Now, I got to start by saying I am not in love with this Friday card in Major League Baseball. I'll be treading lightly personally. I think this is one of the tougher cards we've seen in the month of August. And this is a tough game and honestly a tough series because these are two teams that I'm not really looking to back right now. I really am not in love with the current form, especially offensively for either of these two teams. Don't love their bullpens either. And then you look at the starting pitching matchup. Both starters have struggled recently. Littell gave up three earned runs in 3 innings against the Diamondbacks his last game. Liberatore in his last start, 4 earned runs in 4 1/3 innings. Both lineups, the Cardinals have been dreadful against righties in August. They're 29th in OPS, 30th in isolated power. The Reds against lefties have also been terrible offensively. So really not much here. I'm going to side with the home team, the Cincinnati Reds. They have been a good home team overall this season. We know St. Louis has struggled on the road. So give me the Reds on the money line. I think Littell is also just a better option to start this game. Give me Cincinnati. Next up, we've got the Atlanta Braves taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. We've got Ranger Suarez and Bryce Elder as the starters. Now, Bryce Elder, a starting pitcher we haven't backed too often over the years or in 2025. I don't love him in this matchup either against Philadelphia. The Phillies have been able to get to him in previous meetings. In about 75 plate appearances against the current Phillies lineup, Elder has a high walk rate, pretty low strikeout rate, not too bad, but a .572 expected slugging percentage, .309 expected batting average, just not great numbers. I think the Phillies will be able to get to him early and often and score a few runs off of this Braves bullpen as well. I think Ranger Suarez, it's been an inconsistent year for him, but he's got great numbers against this current Braves lineup in a healthy sample size, about 200 plate appearances. I think the Phillies win this game comfortably. I'm going to lay the 1.5 runs with the Phillies. Next up, we've got the Rays and the Nationals. We've got Adrian Houser and Mitchell Parker as the starters. I'm not in love with taking Adrian Houser on the road right now, but Mitchell Parker, I can't back him in this spot. He's given up 5+ runs in 4 of his last 5 games, and the only other outing was a 4-run performance against the Athletics. So he's consistently struggled in the month of August, and the Nationals are 0-5 in his 5 starts in August. That includes, the 11 earned runs combined and 3 home runs he's given up his last 7 2/3 innings. So for me, the Rays, they've been not the best lineup against left-handed pitching. They have a high strikeout rate against lefties. I still think they'll be able to do some damage against Parker. I think the Rays have the much better bullpen this series as well. So give me Tampa Bay in this one on the money line on the road. Next up, we've got the Brewers and the Blue Jays. Should be a fun series here. Freddie Peralta and Shane Bieber are the starters. Great pitching matchup in this one. Now, the Brewers, obviously one of the best teams in Major League Baseball, the best record in baseball right now. But Trevor McGill's injury does hurt quite a bit. Their closing pitcher in a good bullpen, but that bullpen definitely takes a hit without McGill. And we saw in the beginning of the season, the Brewers were dealing with a lot of injuries in their rotation, in their bullpen, and they struggled. So I do worry about that. It's not easy to replace a closer, especially one that's been one of the best in Major League Baseball. I am going to take the Blue Jays in this first game. I like Shane Bieber, who pitched really well in his rehab starts, was excellent in his season debut. Over the last couple of years, I've been a critic of Bieber at times because he wasn't missing as many bats, and potentially that had something to do with the injury. But in his rehab starts, in that first start back, strikeout numbers are fine. He looks like vintage Shane Bieber. I think he pitches well in this game, and I think that the Blue Jays should be able to do enough against Peralta, who's been great, but not as great on the road. And I think if it comes down to the bullpens, even though I would say that Milwaukee overall in their full strength has the better bullpen, without McGill, I'm going to give the edge to Toronto. So this should be a great series, competitive series. I don't think it'll be a one-sided series, but I think the Blue Jays will take this first game on the money line. Next up, we've got the Marlins and the Mets. We've got Yuri Perez for Miami, and making his Major League debut for the Mets, we've got Jonah Tong. He is one of the top pitching prospects really in baseball, but for the New York Mets organization, and he has been excellent in the minor leagues this year in AA and AAA. Very small sample size in AAA, but those numbers were incredible. Great strikeout stuff. The control, just like Nolan McLean, a little bit of a concern, but doesn't give up a lot of sharp contact. I think Tong pitches well in his debut, and I think that this is exactly what the Mets needed to do with their rotation as they approach the playoff push here, because this is just not it wasn't a great rotation on paper, and then you add the injuries. You bring back Manaea, he's been struggling. Kodai Senga's not been the best. So you've got a guy like McClain who's been unreal so far in his first 3 games. And if Tong can be, even just a decent option in this Mets rotation, even if he's moved to the bullpen in postseason time, I think it's really going to help this Mets pitching staff, who already has a good bullpen on paper, despite those struggles in the middle of the month. But I think Tong pitches well. Yuri Perez has pitched well himself this season, but he's not been the best on the road with an ERA above 4. The Mets have been absolutely crushing right-handed pitching in the month of August. They are top 5 in team OPS and isolated power, number 1 in OPS, with a low strikeout rate to go with it against righties. So I got to side with the under, but the New York Mets on the run line in this one. Next up, we've got the Pirates and the Red Sox. We've got Mike Burrows and Dustin May as the starters. I think the Pirates are the play here at a really solid price. I mean, Mike Burrows is in good form. Dustin May is not. He gave up 5 earned runs and 3 home runs his most recent start on Sunday Night Baseball against the Yankees. He's been inconsistent so far with Boston, and overall just not been a great season for him with not great underlying numbers. Pirates have not been a great road team this season, but they've been more competitive overall. They were competitive in that Cardinals series. I think we see them take this game at a really solid price on the money line. Next up, we've got the Guardians and the Mariners. We've got George Kirby and Logan Allen as the starters. The Mariners have not been great against lefties in August, but they've been solid in terms of the power numbers. I think that matters against Logan Allen, who gave up 3 home runs in his last start, 9 earned runs to go with it against the Texas Rangers. That's a Rangers team. It's been dreadful against lefties all season, but they were able to get to Allen that 10-0 Rangers blowout win. And I think that the Mariners will be able to do enough against Allen to win this game. George Kirby, a great option on the mound for Seattle with a good bullpen to back him up. So give me the Mariners in this one on the money line. Next up, we've got the Yankees and the White Sox. We've got Carlos Rodon and Yoendrys Gomez as the starters. Carlos Rodon had some control issues towards the end of his start against the Red Sox last time out, but overall, really good outing. 5 2/3, only 1 base hit given up, 2 earned runs, only 3 strikeouts, but that's a Red Sox team. It's been good against lefties this year. They were great against Rodon earlier in the season. To see him go out there and pitch, 1 out shy of a quality start, get the win for the Yankees. They've won his last 4 games now. I've been impressed with Rodon. He's given up 2 runs or fewer in 4 straight outings, and I think he pitches well enough in this game. We talked about the White Sox being a lot better against lefties than righties offensively in 2025, but in the month of August, they're just so-so. They're 14th in team OPS. The walk and strikeout rates are good, and I think they'll be able to do some damage against Rodon, but I also think this red-hot Yankees lineup should be able to get to Gomez, and a not-so-great White Sox bullpen could be the weakest bullpen in Major League Baseball. So give me the Yankees in this one. I think they find a way to win this game on the money line and potentially the run line. Next up, we've got the Angels and the Astros. We've got Tyler Anderson and Lance McCullers Jr. as the starters. Now, we've talked about Lance McCullers Jr.'s control issues throughout his career and in 2025. They're always something to think about. He had 5 walks given up in his last start against the Orioles in 4 innings of work. But that's an Orioles team that in the month of August has one of the higher walk rates in Major League Baseball against right-handed pitching. The Angels are right around 15th in the league in that department, so not great. But they also are leading the league in strikeout rate, 29.7% strikeout rate for the Angels against righties in the month of August. I think that bodes well for a strikeout-dependent starter like Lance McCullers, who still has over a strikeout per inning in 2025. I think he pitches pretty well in this game. It's still, McCullers, he struggled at home this season. The control's been an issue, but I think he'll have a decent outing. I think he gets the run support as well. Tyler Anderson's not in great form. I've mentioned it's really tough to be a lefty in Houston in the last 5+ years, as they have crushed left-handed pitching in this stadium. And I think for a guy like Anderson, who's given up a ton of home runs in his last 5 games in the month of August in general, I don't love this spot for him. The Angels have lost his last 5 games. He's been one of the least profitable pitchers in Major League Baseball. So give me the Astros in this one on the money line and run line. Next up, we've got the Tigers and the Royals. This one goes back to what I mentioned at the beginning of the video. I'm not in love with this Friday card. You got Chris Paddock and Seth Lugo on the mound, 2 starting pitchers that I'm looking to fade right now, especially Lugo, who has been miserable as of late. He's given up 6+ runs in 3 of his last 4 games, 2+ home runs in 4 straight games. Somehow the Royals have been able to still win his last 2 starts, but I think he continues to struggle. And Chris Paddock, while he's been very inconsistent this year, he did pitch well against this Royals team in his last start. 5 innings, 1 run, only 1 strikeout, but goes to show you this is not a great Royals lineup against right-handed pitching this season. I think Paddock is actually the better option in this game. I think the Tigers certainly have the better offense, and I think they have the slightly better bullpen in this series. So while we faded the Tigers all the way in that athletic series and did quite well as the A's swept that series, I'll back the Tigers in this spot on the money line on the road. Next up, we've got the Padres and the Twins. We've got Nestor Cortez and Zebby Matthews as the starters. This is a game where I just don't see a ton of value, but I will side with the Padres on the money line. I think Nestor Cortez has also had some consistency issues, but pitched really well in his last game against the Dodgers. 6 scoreless innings in that 5-1 Padres win. They've won 3 of his last 4 starts since returning from injury. And Minnesota, they've been so-so against lefties recently, but overall in the month of August, not great numbers. Zebby Matthews, we've talked about how I think he's going to be a really good option, whether it's with the Twins rotation or another team. I think he will be a good starting pitcher in this league. But right now, those control issues are still there. He doesn't pitch deep into ball games because his pitch count rises early in starts. He gave up 8 base hits and 3 walks his last game against the White Sox. It's just not going to get it done against this Padres team. So give me the Padres in this one on the money line. Next up, we've got the Rockies and the Cubs. We've got Cade Horton and German Marquez as the starters. It's going to be the first start back for Marquez since July 20th, so well over a month for Marquez's absence. And I think he does pitch pretty well in this game. It's a tough matchup at Coors Field. Cubs have been a good lineup against righties, but not necessarily in the month of August. I mean, we've seen Chicago not play their best baseball this month. In the month of August, they're ranked 28th in the league in team OPS against right-handed pitching, 28th in isolated power. Kyle Tucker, of course, still injured. So I think Marquez, who've had a good outing in his rehab start last week, he went 3 innings, 1 run, 3 strikeouts. I think he'll be okay, and this is also the Coors debut of Cade Horton. He's never pitched at Coors Field. He's having a good rookie campaign. He's pitching really well as of late, but Coors Field can be the ultimate equalizer at times for young pitchers, and I think the Rockies will compete in this game. They've been more competitive lately. You take out that Pirates series where they basically didn't even show up. I would say in their last few series, they had that one win streak. They picked up some outright W's as dogs. I think they're playing some of their better baseball in the month of August, so I will take them plus the 1.5 runs in this game. Next up, we've got the Rangers and the Athletics. We got Jack Leiter and Jeffrey Springs as the starters. The A's have been very kind to us in the month of August. We took them every game in that Tigers series. They swept that series, getting plus money each game, especially that first game against Skubal. Took them every game in that Twins series in Minnesota. They swept that series as well. We took them run line the first couple of games in Seattle. They covered the run line and then lost the first game, but won outright the second game before losing the finale. But this A's team's been playing their best baseball in August, I believe. Their offense is off the charts. Their rotation's been good enough. I think that this is an underrated rotation going forward. I think the bullpen's also underrated. This is an organization that does not spend a lot of money, but if they can make a couple of deals in the offseason to pick up a couple of veterans in the rotation and the bullpen, I think they're going to be very dangerous in what looks like a wide-open AL West in 2026 and beyond. I think this is a team you want to watch out for next year. But when you look at this matchup, I got to roll with the A's again in this one. I mean, their offense is on a roll. Jack Leiter's been inconsistent, not great on the road this season with an ERA just below 5. And Jeffrey Springs is pitching really well. The Rangers have been better against lefties recently, but still have miserable numbers overall this season against southpaws. I'm going to roll with the A's in this one on the money line. Next up, we've got the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. We've got Zach Gallen and Blake Snell as the starting pitchers. I do think that the Diamondbacks not getting the day off on Thursday, having to wrap up that series in Milwaukee, it's a tough spot for them to be in now because this is already not a great pitching staff, not a great bullpen. They played in a lot of close games in that series. They had some comeback efforts in that series, and they used a lot of their bullpen as a result. So for a team like Arizona with a bad bullpen that already doesn't have a lot of great high-leverage guys to begin with, for them to pitch as much as they did in that series and even in the Red Series and now have to play this game in LA, I just think it's a tough ask for Arizona. I know they're a great lineup against lefties in the month of August. I know Zach Gallen's pitching a lot better as of late, 3 runs or fewer in 5 straight games. 4 of those were quality starts, but I think late in this game, we're going to see the Diamondbacks struggle, and the Dodgers are known to be a great late-inning team, especially at Dodger Stadium. So for me, if you like the Diamondbacks, I would take them in the first 5 innings, plus a half a run or on the money line, but I do think the Dodgers will end up winning this game in the full game. Next up, we've got the Orioles and the Giants. We've got Dean Kramer for Baltimore, but no official starter right now for San Francisco. The Giants are playing pretty competitive baseball, and I think they'll be able to get to Kramer, who has struggled his last game, 6 earned runs, 3 home runs to go with it. Was pitching quite well before that, but has not been the best on the road this season with an ERA of just below 5 at 4.97. So, San Francisco's improving their numbers against right-handed pitching in the month of August. I think their bullpen will be good enough. We'll see who their official starter is, but right now leaning towards the Giants in this one on the money line. And that's it. Those are the games for Friday in baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com, and there is a link in the description. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.